and welcome back to the ministry. And this is Taj McCameron, and today we are talking about who's waiting on who. Ooh, this is gonna be a word right here. I sat up there and said last night, I think I said it this morning, I said, Lord, if this is in alignment, then what's gonna happen? The word that I'm gonna speak right now into this camera is gonna be the word. It's gonna be in relation to what it is that I was dealing with last night. I was like, ooh, and guess what? It still worked. It fit. We about to talk about it. We're gonna start off. We're gonna go in two different directions with this. Part one: who's waiting on who? Are we waiting on God, or is God waiting on us? A lot of us are in a season where we are on the cusp of the brink of the biggest breakthrough we have ever experienced in our entire lives. Okay? But what's happened is you end up in a season of waiting in a holding pattern, and you're looking at God like, yo, God, what's up? I done sat here, I prayed, I fasted, I did that. We went through deliverance 5-6 times this season. What's up? I cried, I was on the floor. You had me spitting up, you had me doing everything. Crying, starting, surrendering, fasting, doing it all. Doing the mostest. Pause for y'all people that ain't familiar with deliverance. Some of y'all delays, y'all ain't been willing to go through that deliverance. I've been through 2 to 3 different deliverance sessions, actually, which were way different than the deliverance sessions that I went through when I was in church. When I was in church, they knock you in the floor and you be good. Now, I went through a major deliverance where I was sick for 3 days and some black stuff came out my mouth. I don't know what the heck that was. I went to the hospital and the daggone paramedic was like, what is this black in the back of your throat? I was like, I don't know. I didn't know it was there. Really? I've been taking Pepto-Bismol. Is that it? He's like, no, that didn't come from Pepto-Bismol. So I was like, yeah, that kind of deliverance. I've been through the kinds of deliverance where you are spitting. I've been through the kinds of deliverance where everything runs out of you. I've been through the kinds of deliverances, I've been through a couple of them just in the past 2 months. 2-3 months, I went through 2 of them. So yeah, God will put you through it. Some of y'all ain't willing to go through that. Some of y'all want that cute deliverance, like, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna fast, I'm gonna be cute and I'm gonna do. You don't want that. Spitting up, laying on the floor, crying your eyes out, laying in the presence of God. Jesus, help me. Why am I going through this? What? That kind of deliverance. And then you still like, I'm still here. We still don't. I haven't passed my test enough to go to that level yet. For real? God, for really? What? I was like, I'm waiting on you. And you like, God, what else I do? I didn't know I did anything. What else I didn't do? Bruh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. God been getting on me these past couple of days. And I was like, Jesus, what else is there? What else is there? What else is there? And he was like, how about envy? How about jealousy? How about pride? That pride that looks like shyness, not the pride that looks like arrogance and I can do better all by myself. I'm talking about that pride that looks like I'm too shy. I don't want to talk to nobody. If somebody gave me an opportunity, I don't think that I would. If I had access to these people, I don't think I would use it. Pride. That's pride too. Yeah, that pride. I'll be like, I'm trying to get rid of that pride. And I'm like, something. Maybe that was why. That's why I've been asking for forgiveness for pride, because I thought I was being arrogant and too into myself or something. Feeling myself too much or something. And God's like, no, you were being too shy. I was like, what? It's like, I want to use you boldly. You over here trying to be shy. I'm like, but God, I'm your ex-one cool. I thought we was good. I'm like, yeah, for real. Like, we doing this? We out here really doing this? Oh, and then the past couple of days, I've been seeing the serious words of people I listen to, and this is how you know that you are not obsessive with words, and you know that you are a real person that is really seeking God for a word when you start seeing them serious words and you don't click off. You turn on those words and you sit there in the uncomfortableness of listening to the words. Because what's the words that was being released? Stephanie P released They Don't Deserve You, and I thought they were saying she was talking about the kingdom relationships, which I'm gonna get into that later in this word, but she was talking about there are people around you that you are dealing with on a daily basis that disrespect you, treat you, what have you, do whatever they do, and you got a trauma bond connected to them, and you don't want to let them go because they family members, friends, so on and so forth. They're your ex-bone coon, you know them for your entire life, and you don't know what you could do without them. And I think Tiffany Montgomery touched on that a little bit last night. It's like you got these people around you that they are toxic to you, but you got this connection to them that you don't. It's something about them that makes you feel good to still be being traumatized by them. It's like, she used a specific word. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, them hard words. And Lady Jeremiah was talking about it's time to go, and you still sitting there, and you supposed to be in your exodus, and you can't take everybody with you. Notice all these words have to do with the people that are around you, and it's one of those. I'm looking at God like, I ain't trying to take none of these folks with me. What you talking about? The only person I got around me right now is my dad, and I ain't trying to take him with me. I'm praying that when I leave, everything is cool with him, because out in these streets, it ain't nothing to play with. We got food shortages and all this kind of stuff that's happening, food prices, and dad looking for money and all that kind of stuff. And I'm praying in the name of Jesus, the finances come together. That's the only reason. But my father he don't want to go where I'm going. I know he don't want to go where I'm going, because I've asked him a couple of times. If he had the opportunity to go to a retirement community up in the place that I'm supposed to be going to, when he go, he'd be like, I don't really want to leave Baltimore. I'm like, okay. I can't do nothing about that. You can't be trying to take people with you that don't want to go. They ain't got it. Yes, Joseph, he left. And he came back and he got his family members. And I mean, if it get hard, I'm sure my dad will go. But I would rather put him where he wanna be than to drag him where I'm at. That's my true feelings about that whole situation. So when it comes down to people, I ain't trying to drag nobody with me. I want them to be comfortable where they at. Because even if you listen to the story of Joseph put his family out in the pastures in the country land area. They weren't nowhere near him in the royal palace. They weren't in the palace with him. He was covering them. He was taking care of them, but they were far away from where he was. Hello. But with that being said, God is like, I'm waiting on you. I'm going to take you. I'm going to move you. I've been done told you that it's about to go down. Is you ready? Is you ready? Are you ready? Because I done put you through. You done went through the trials. You done went through the tests. You done cried. You done went through. And the test, you was like, yo, what's up with this test? What I do to deserve this test? Because I've been through them tests too. I went through all them tests 4 years ago. Within the past 4 years, I went 5 years. From 4 years ago up until last year, I was going through tests like that. And I was like, Jesus, what did I do to deserve this kind of test? I was like, no, it wasn't you. It was your generational curses and your bloodline effects. It's like, oh, okay. And I just kept feeling like boot camp was all over that. I was like, military boot camp. And I noticed something. Let me tell you something. How many people you know in the music industry that came out, like, perfect example, Sierra, she's a military brat kid. Tia and Tamara Mowry, military brat children. There's a couple other people. They either were military brats or they came out of homelessness. Either way, military type training you went through. Hella. And I'll be like, I'm waiting on you. Because it's like, you be going through the tests and stuff, and God be like, okay, I need you to go through this. And you like, God, I'm waiting on you. You'll get there as soon as you finish this. It's like, but yeah, I thought I cried enough. I thought I went through enough. I thought yeah. And then, and here's the lesson from last night. Old girl Tiffany Montgomery, thank you Jesus for her. She came on last night and she said, some of y'all were feeling infirmity in your body, and I ain't gonna lie, I was feeling some infirmity in my body. And I was like, God, what's up with this? And she was like, some of y'all feeling infirmity in your body, like something coming upon you. You feeling under the weather? And I was like, oh, what is it? He said, y'all dealing with infirmity because you ain't forgive somebody. I was like, what are you talking about? I ain't forgive. God immediately put the person in my head. Me and God had to sit down and have a real chat after the live went off last night. I was like, God, I didn't forget that person. I don't forget the demons that they dealing with. And she was literally talking about that. Like a lot of y'all sit up there talking about, y'all directing y'all attention at the demons that they dealing with. God's like, you got to forgive them. Them's the ones you got to forgive. It's like, oh man, dang, I gotta forgive them. It's like, I'm just at this point. I had to be honest. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's like I forgive them for what I can forgive them for, but if they still directing magics and all kinds of foolishness at me, that's what's pissing me off right now. I just had to be honest with God. If they still directing magic, I've been long away from them for a year now, and they still directing magics and witchcraft at me, I'm angry at that. And that's hard for me to forgive. I forgive the person, but the spirit operating in them, it's hard right now. So I'm asking you, God, if you want me to forgive this person, you got to take out of me the spirit that sees them as somebody that just righteously, indignantly disrespected me. This is real talk. They burned me bad. And you've already given me spiritual awareness as to why they did that, which in turn burned me even more, because I'm like, this is why you're doing this to me. After I shared this piece of information with you, you wanted to direct these attacks at me for this. I was burned. I was like, okay, I need you to help me with that. So you need to make this person like a stranger to me, and that I leave respect for this person. Cut that silver cord on both ends, that she no longer act the way that she do, and I will leave her alone, because you did it before, because he's done that before. I asked him to cut the silver cord between me and somebody, and now I don't even really care to listen to their music no more. And I thought I would never, not with this person. So I'm praying the same thing. Because it's of a call between me and this particular person, that I may be able to genuinely forgive them for what happened. And respectfully let this go. As long as they respectfully let me go and respectfully stop doing witchcraft against me. And it's not the ultimatum of it, it's the fact of, I need you to help me, because I can let it go. But if I was literally told by another prophet that, oh yeah, she's still doing stuff to you. I'm like, I know exactly who you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, okay. You tell me. And that's the thing Tiffany was talking about last night. It's like, you may have the righteous right to still be angry at this person for what they are doing or have done to you. You have the right to be that way. But at the same time, God's saying, I still need you to forgive them. I'm like, I forgive them. I don't know when I'm going to feel it. And she was talking about, she said she had to sit there for 24 hours instead of being like, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. I'm like, God, I don't know when I'm going to feel it. Because even in the Lord's word, it says you have to forgive a person 70 times 7. I don't know, it's 470 something. And I'm just like, it is what it is. I want to forgive this particular person. And I know that there's something there because I had a dream recently of them trying to do something. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, all right. And God's like, I'm waiting on you. How many of y'all got scenarios where God's waiting on you? He waiting on you. It's like, the only reason you ain't where you supposed to be at is because I'm waiting on you to forgive that person. I'm like, I don't know how. And that's just honesty. So what I said to the Lord was, just like in the prayer of Jabez, I believe, help my unbelief. I forgive, help the parts of me that don't know how to forgive this person. That's all I can say. Because at the very least, the Lord knows. I want to forgive this person, but that was vicious. And I've had people viciously attack me before, but that was some kind of viciousness that was psychological. And then to hear that the person is still trying to do it from a distance, it makes my blood boil. Let's just be honest. So, yeah, I need you to have that person become a stranger to me, and I also need you to deal with them prayerfully, that they would stop doing what they're doing. Because I no longer want to be righteously angered from the pit of my gut every time I think about this person coming across my phone. I don't, because the thing that irritates me the most is they come off very sweet when they try to get in touch with you, and it's like that more than anything irritates me and makes me lividly angry. And I feel it, that part of me that boils up inside, that's because I'm a Lion of Judah, we don't call it that. And that Lion of Judah be ready to pounce, ready to jump out at you and be like, if I was anything but saved, we'll catch a whole lot of something else. Because I'm a New Yorker. And people best be glad that I was not raised in New York. because I probably would have been the Tiffany Montgomery of New York City. Tiffany Montgomery used to always say, she's like, I'm that person that's going to kill you. I'm going to cut you. Literally. And thanks be to Jesus that I was not raised in New York, because I would have probably been into some serious issues. That kind of serious issues that would have been like. Yeah, I would have had to call a couple charges. But thank you, Jesus, I was raised in Baltimore. When people see me in New York when I was living in New York. They're like, you were raised in Baltimore? I can't tell because you still nice. I'm like, baby, if I had been raised in New York. So, yeah, God waiting on you. So as we come to the end of this word, I want to take these last few minutes to talk about the side that y'all really want to hear about. God's waiting on you. Now, there's somebody out there waiting on you. To my Kingdom Marriage folks. Let me pause. My Kingdom Marriage people. There's a God ordained spouse sitting up there waiting on you too. And in some cases, the reason that God waiting on you, that spouse waiting on you too. And it's tandem, because God represents your spiritual spouse and the man represents your human spouse. And because God is leading the man, they both won't be sitting still waiting on you. Because God showed me in a dream about 6 months ago, my God ordained spouse standing waiting on the wall, waiting on me to get to him. And I was like, wait a minute, why he standing there like he was waiting? I asked the Lord, I was like, why he standing there like he waiting? He was like, yeah, he waiting on you. I was like, what? I'm waiting on him. What you mean? It's like, yeah, he waiting on you. There's somebody waiting on you. There's things that you need to do in you to make sure that you're ready to deal with them, because guess what? They got stuff going on in their world that you may not be ready for. And the reason that the Lord is holding you up is because it's like, there's something you're going to run into when you get over there. You so happy, you so jolly, you so this. Man, child, bye. Oh my God. When I first prayed for Kingdom Marriage to happen 7 years ago, I was praying about 7-8 years ago. In 2014, I started praying for Kingdom Marriage. And I'm sitting there like, yeah. I was on a prayer call with my old speech teacher, who is a minister now. And she was talking about some of y'all supposed to get married. I was like, God, am I supposed to get married? Yeah, let's start talking about this. And then I sat down as following summer and wrote down a whole list of things. And I kind of threw the Kingdom Marriage part in the bottom corner of this huge, humongous list, because that's the way I write things. When I pray for things, I write long, extensive lists. We're going to get that into that in the second half of today's word, or the word coming up directly behind this one, about the alignments and stuff. Actually, I talked about it yesterday in Go Big or Go Home. But, yeah. There's a man that's actually waiting for you. And for y'all men, there's a lady out there waiting for you. And you have to come up to the qualifications that the Lord needs for you. And it's not just about, does he look cute? Does she look cute? Is it this? Where's God taking me? Then I need a guy that's going to walk in that direction with me. Because guess what? It's a little bit deeper than that. Because when you get together with this particular person, guess what? You're going to have children. And you're going to have to cover those children with the blood of Jesus. And you're going to have to deal with the demons that were in his or your bloodline that you didn't deal with. Tiffany Montgomery was talking about this last night. Because God has you fast in order for you to be able to see the demons that are in your bloodline, recognize who they are, and start taking them out before you end up in your marriage. Because you don't want to end up in your marriage and having to take these demons out, having to deal with these demons in your actual day-to-day marriage, and then you have kids, because first you're going to have to deal with them in your spouse. I was having a conversation where I was a little bit irritated and agitated the night before. Because I was in a live chat with some of the other ministry ladies that I'm friends with, or I'm friendly with. They know me, but they ain't seen my face yet. And I was talking about the vulnerability, and I was talking about my irritation about some things the Lord showed me about my God-ordained spouse, and it was like, yeah, another thing, God waiting on you. God waiting on you. And He's waiting on you so that you are ready to deal with those things. Because there are certain things that they dealing with. Guess what? God ain't going to make them get rid. You might know of them. But God's like, oh, good, you know about it now. Yeah, I need to see that your love is unconditional for this particular person. So guess what? I'm not gonna remove that before you get there. You gonna still have to deal with that when you get there. What? Why? Yes, I know it irritates you. Well, do you still love unconditionally? Oh, Lord. Because I'm not going to get rid of that just yet. But it's like you're going to love up on them until they start doing that thing that you don't like that much. Unconditional love? Forgiveness? Is your pride going to allow you to be? What's up? You going to allow bitterness, anger, resentment? Because you know what? And God's good, because he brought that up last night, and I started thinking about that and started thinking about, God, if you don't start dealing with some of these things, I can see the anger, bitterness, resentment. Oh, wait, I got that in me. Oh my God, I always thought it was just my dad. It's in me too. And that's just come about you. Because your God-ordained spouse going to test that. And you ain't realize you was that angry until you was like, oh my God, you done started testing this part of me that I didn't want to deal with. Oh, Jesus, what? Is this what we doing up here? And that's just dealing with your God-ordained spouse. And you got to pray over him against temptations and all of this. That's why I always tell y'all, please get the book, Prayers of a Praying Wife 31-Day Devotional. I forget who's the author of it, but it's a pink cover. And read that. Just keep reading that in your prayer time. I pray that over my God-ordained spouse whenever I feel that I need to. And the devil hates it, because every time I do that, I get real sleepy. I remember one time I started praying that thing over my spouse. The entire document that I keep it on, and I had to remove it and put it back because I could not open it. Because this is how bad the enemy did not want me praying this over my God-ordained spouse. But that's alright. I can still pray for him. I still love the man. For rich or for poor, your sickness and your health. You get on my nerves and I'm not. Because guess what? I know there are habits and things that I do that I'm probably going to start forgetting to do too. And he's going to get on his last nerves too. And we're going to have to work through it. Because I don't do things intentionally. I never do anything intentionally. There's some things that people think I do intentionally. And I'm like, speaking back of the forgiveness, there was that particular person used to think I did things on purpose to her. I was like, I never did that on purpose. It's like, I just may have done something. It's like, it just happened to be at that time frame. It just may have happened to have been, I forgot. It may have happened to have been, I was tired. But, and there are going to be things that God-ordained spouse is going to do to you that are going to be like that. And then you're going to have children. And those kids, they have no gauge for understanding as to whether they're doing it on purpose or not. They just kids. So they ain't going to be doing it on purpose. And if you got 1, 2, 3, or 4, you got to deal with their attitudes and their things that are trying to come up against them and them spirits. And the Lord will allow them to reflect certain spiritual warfares that you were dealing with, just simply because of the fact that He's reminding you, and He's putting some certain remembrance that you need to pray that thing off that child. I know somebody that has children, and she was talking about the spirit of suicide had come over one of her kids, and she was like, This will not happen to me. This will not happen to my babies. I was like, oh no. And I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of stuff. You can't just be out here saying that you won't marry anybody. Forget the foolishness. Because not only do you need to be able to pray over your kids, you also need a spouse that can pray over you, because you got to cover all these areas. And some of your spouses are not going to be prayer warriors like you. You're the warrior in the house. God showed me my best position in the house is sitting at the edge of the bed praying on my knees. That's going to be my spot. He showed me a time lapse over time frames and periods. I was in one room seeing the lights, the furniture, the environment change over time, but I was sitting in the same space, which was at the side of the bed praying. God's waiting on you, and that man needs that, and your family needs that. That's what's necessary in order to cover your family. So they're waiting on you. God's waiting on you, and so is he. Are you ready? Deal with the things inside of you that need to be dealt with, because you're at the door. Are you ready to walk into that door? Because right now we're at the station. God showed me this in a dream. We're at the transition point. Any day now, any moment now, suddenly is going to transition. And are you ready? Are you ready for your invitation? Are you ready for your go time? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because they just waiting on you. Are you ready? Because it's 100% for real. This is legit. It is what it is. And I even got to sit down and have a moment with the Lord, because I've been like, there's some words that I've been releasing, and then there's some stuff that I've been doing on my podcast, and I'm just like, God, you want me to go into that area? You want me to stick in this spot? But I also know there's something else that the Lord has been showing. He showed me a whole bunch of stuff last night, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, what are we doing here? I'm a little bit conflicted. Am I supposed to balance the two? Or what am I supposed to be doing? I need your wisdom. Because to me, this ministry is something that the Lord gave me. And I'm that person that if he gives it to me, I'm going to push into it. Matter of factly, of anything that I've been consistent with in the past few months, it's been this. Because this is for God. This has nothing to do with any of my business related things. This is God right here. Me and God. Yeah. And it's relevant. I may not have that many people looking at it, but guess what? I've come to find that even with the people that I follow, they some of them may have nobody following them when they first started, and all of a sudden God dropped the anointing for them to be hit virality. They turn around, they got 5, 10,000 followers now on their ministry pages. So I'm that type of person that if ain't nobody following me, I'm going to put the videos up anyway. So with that being said, until next time, much love, faith, peace, and blessings for the ministry. Bye-bye.